Hey there, Film Fights with Friends fans. I am your host, Paul Varacchi.
Hey, and I'm your other host, Stephen Koepfer.
And today we have a very special episode with two very special guests.
Us.
Yeah,
us. Hey, by the way, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th, buddy.
It's tomorrow.
The day our country was...
I don't know, 250 years, bro.
Founded?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Is that why you're wearing red, white, and blue, or is it just by chance?
A little bit of both. You know, I
Bullshit. You didn't even know.
I had no fucking clue this episode was airing July 4th. No, this is my Jaws, my Jaws shirt. And then, you know, because it's got red in it, I thought I'd wear my Mario hat because it matches.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. So everybody listening.
I'm not celebrating too much about this country lately.
Yeah, me either. But we have survived this long. So, if you're watching or listening to us, have a great 4th of July tomorrow.
Yeah. Be safe with the fireworks, guys. Don't blow your fucking fingers off.
Yeah, seriously. We like you with your fingers because you can't fucking comment.
Steve's a pervert. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's hard to do star ratings with no fingers. So. Unless you're Stephen Hawking.
Oh boy.
I give film fights with friends 10 stars. Anyway. Dude. We have a fun episode today, and we got a lot of help from our friends in the stunt community for this one. Wouldn't you say?
I didn't hear a word you just said. I was zoned out for a second.
Wow. For those listening, Paul just like I was like, all right, let's test sound, and Paul's like, all you hear is. Anyways, I was saying this is gonna be a fun episode. We got a lot of help from a lot of our friends in the stunt community on this one.
We did, and also we have some cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah, totally, man.
We had a pretty cool week.
We did. So let's give a little teaser on what we're going to talk about. Then we'll do a little catch up with me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk this is a bit of a follow-up on our episode with Anthony Hong on the How Not to Get Into Stunts episode. So go back last season, listen to that. This isn't a pure sequel of that episode.
Well, it's kind of almost like what's going to happen when you do get there.
Mm-hmm.
What are the obstacles that you're going to run into? And you're going to run into them.
So this was sort of inspired by like Paul and I get hit up all the time, right? Like people wanting to get into the stunt business, and you ask them, well, what skill do you have? And they're like, well, I'm a martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool.
What kind of martial arts?
What kind, and like, how do you transition from real martial arts to screen martial arts, or being a real fighter to a screen fighter? And that's really the topic of today. We're going to kind of break down like some advice and thoughts from us and our peers on making that transition from actual combat sports athlete or actual martial artist to screen martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and also probably some of the, I guess we'll just go into some of the red flags that when people ask you that question, you ask them a few questions, and then they give you some answers, and then those answers are you know where the rest of the conversation is going to go, and you know sometimes you just try and steer away from it and been like, I can't talk to you about this because all my answers are not going to be what you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you guys want to join the discussion, we did start on my Instagram and Facebook. We started discussions on each place, asking people in the stunt community this question.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of great comments.
Even I commented.
Even Paul commented on my thing.
And you know, those listeners of the show will all know of my story working on Daredevil with Chris Brewster. And that was my hardest and one adjustment I was not able to make was stop looking like you know how to fight.
Yep.
Daredevil is fighting knuckleheads. He's not fighting Spec Ops guys.
Yeah.
You look great, but that's not what we want.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, for me, that's exactly.
Yeah. We're going to get into it.
But it's so funny that, yes, absolutely. Some of the other ones were really good too.
They are. So before we get into that, though, we have to say we had a great time at the Jack Ryan world premiere.
That's right.
And
Ghost War, right?
Ghost War. It was really good.
Yes.
And you guys might have seen our little quick breakdown after the movie on our social media and stuff. But honestly, dude, that movie deserves to be in theaters not just for the world premiere.
Definitely a big screen. It should be. It's upsetting. I mean, I understand why it's coming out on Amazon because the whole series was released on Amazon.
Sure.
But that movie deserves a big theater release for sure.
100%. It was so good. I walked out of there like, this is so good, and it's so good on the big screen. Mm-hmm. It was disappointing to know that people watching it are not going to be seeing it the way we saw it.
And I really felt familiar with the was it the Harrison Ford?
Oh yeah,
it was the Harrison Ford.
It felt like a Patriot Games.
It felt like that's what it felt like.
It felt like an old school Jack Ryan movie. Even Hunt for Red October, right, with Alec Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and what I also liked about it, and it kind of made me think about the show, the series compared to the movie, was that it was so direct. Mm-hmm. There were no subplots. There was no bullshit for them to sum up. They really just, and I liked it. I was like, I want another Jack Ryan movie and not a series.
I mean, Krasinski is great, I think, as Jack Ryan. He's really good.
He's a great actor.
But I'll tell you what, man, Wendell Pierce,
that
motherfucker is awesome.
He's so good.
Dude, when I saw him on Broadway in Death of a Salesman, blew me away.
Dude, he's on Broadway right now, isn't he?
He's doing a Shakespeare, some kind of Shakespeare production. That guy is a beast of an actor, but he plays center. We won't give any spoilers, but he's definitely sort of center stage in the drama of this film.
And Mike Beasley?
Oh yeah,
he's great.
That guy,
he's so good. I saw him when we walked out of the theater. I saw him and I shook his hand. He was cool. I didn't want to ask for a picture, but such a cool guy. And what's so funny, I was like, when you see them for 5 seconds and they're like talking, you're like, oh, he played himself.
Yeah.
He just played like a really fun version of himself.
So we definitely recommend that you jump on Amazon and watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. And it was even cooler that we were able to give free tickets to the world red carpet premiere
for all of our Patreon members, paying Patreon members.
Well, the ones that bothered to respond.
Yeah.
And 5 of you did. Well, 3 of you and 2 guests. Mm-hmm. You did.
And we got to meet you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome to hang out and meet you in person. So if you're not a supporting member of our Patreon, you're missing out on really cool shit like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giveaways, raffles.
Yeah. I mean,
world premieres.
Dude, we have a playlist on our Patreon. You guys should go check it out if you don't believe us or if you haven't been paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
We have a screenings playlist. You can see, not playlist, but a collection of all the invites to different movie screenings we've done for you guys. So, man, yeah, you can really take advantage of some good stuff. But the screenings are one of the great perks you'll get for being a supporting member of our show. Besides just feeling proud that you're part of our family and helping the show stay alive.
Right. We love all of our fans, and definitely, and meeting you guys in person is always really cool.
Yeah, totally.
It's nice to see all the different types of people that listen to the show.
It is really cool. And, we appreciate the free members too, because they watch the show, they engage with us, and they help keep us up on the algorithm. So we appreciate you guys too. And our newest free Patreon member, Frankie Bay, our number one fan. Dude, can't believe it. Now you're going to be you're like a stalker.
I was going to say, you make it sound like he's going to fucking murder us.
Everywhere we go, there's Frankie, man. So please, everybody, if you're interested, think about supporting our show on Patreon. Link is in the show notes. Check it out. But like we always say, the show is available. Will be available to everybody, even the free members.
Mm-hmm.
But the supporting members get it early.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of cool other extra stuff too. So check out the perks.
You said that already.
I know, I'm saying it again.
Jesus.
I really want them to think about it.
Did you take your meds today?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have double dosed.
I don't know if you want that, man. You might regret that.
I'm like, I was joking. Are you really on meds?
Careful what you wish for. I don't wear my disability on a sleeve, dude. It's not my identity.
Only when you need to park.
That's it. And as always, we have the link to our food drive in the show notes with Feeding America. Please consider donating to that. It can help. There's a lot of people. This is the 250th anniversary of our country this weekend, and it's sad that so many people have food insecurity right now. So we're trying to do our little part. So,
going through it right now.
Yeah, seriously. Check out our food drive, man.
I'm like contemplating train or driving to work. Like I got to sit down and crunch numbers. Gas is so expensive.
Oh my God. I know.
It's crazy.
I know. I was like, we were joking about it at the tournament this weekend. For those who aren't aware, we had guys fighting at this tournament this weekend, and like the gold medalist was getting like $200 in cash, and we were like, oh, gas money for the ride home.
Right.
Seriously.
I mean, I can literally, it was a no brainer before. It was like, okay, I'm not taking the train. It cost me over $30 to get to and from work.
Yeah.
I was like, the driving cost me $14, plus gas once, twice a week. No brainer. Now, gas is almost quadrupled or tripled in price.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I got to crunch the numbers again because maybe taking the train's
cheaper.
Yeah. Like sanity and time wise, it may be better just to sit in my car and have the AC on.
It's a good thing you're not in Long Island.
Fuck that.
Because for those who don't know, the Long Island Railroad was just on strike. So everybody that lived out in Long Island that worked in the city was booked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maybe that's why traffic was so shitty.
It was. It was really bad. Traffic was really bad because everybody was carpooling and trying to get into the city. So anyway, we also have the Technical Standards Program link if you want to donate and help support the people that keep you safe in the entertainment industry, the people that write the safety standards and hash all that stuff out. It's completely nonprofit. They only work based on.
Aren't you one of those guys?
I am one of those guys. And we've said it before, but we actually, in order to be on those work groups and to help draft the safety standards, we actually pay to be a part of that. We make a donation to be a part of it. So
it's kind of like a Hollywood star.
Yeah. I would never pay for that.
What is it, like $10,000 a year?
Some kind
upkeep
of
for your star. Some shit like that. That's really funny.
Yeah, totally.
I always find it like blah blah blah. Got a Hollywood star, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. How do I keep the junkies from shooting up on top of my star? Anyway, dude, our sponsors. We have only one really awesome sponsor besides ourselves.
Stunt Contact.
Stunt Contact. We love you.
Yes.
From day one. Link is in the show notes. If you are in the industry, especially in the action filmmaking industry, and you're a stunt performer or an action actor, or even a stunt coordinator or anybody who works in the industry and wants to know what's going on.
And right now, that's the most important thing because jobs are not as, especially for us in New York, LA, Jersey, the jobs aren't so local to where you can just count on movies shooting in New York. We have to check all the New England now
everywhere.
For work. And it's all close now. It's all work is scarce,
Well, look, even the New Jersey's kicking it right now. They're doing really good.
Most of my work has been all in Jersey in the past 2 years.
The producer that just hit me up this week about potentially coordinating, again, shooting in New Jersey. But, if you're not on Stunt Contact, you need to be. And you will get a sweet discount if you use our discount code, FFWFPOD.
I'm not saying it, bro.
It's 25% off a daily subscription, 15% off a weekly.
Foofpod.
And, Foofpod. Dude, we should make t-shirts with like a barking dog with an iPod on. It's like a woof pod. Wow. Okay. This is what happens when we start recording by ourselves without a producer in the room.
Oh my God.
So, but hey, it's a great segue, man, because this whole episode is essentially geared towards new performers who are just getting into the business and using martial arts as their springboard. So like us, follow us, everything, do all the subscriptions and reviews and all that. But let's get into our discussion on transitioning from real combat sports, real martial arts into screen combat sports and screen martial arts. So, Paul, I know I sent this to you yesterday, but for everybody else, we got a shitload of comments from a ton of performers. And so what I did was I kind of broke them down into 5 categories. They all kind of drifted towards one of these 5 categories.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the first one. And I'm using your term that you said in one of the past episodes, being technically untechnical. And that is looking unskilled.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just start with Jay Adams, former guest. Go check him out, season 1. We love Jay. And he wrote, learning to throw a punch with horrible form just so it will sell for the camera.
Yes, I like to call that left-handed anger.
Yeah. Swatting. So this is something that we all go through. Like learning how to look like you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the hardest things to do.
Once you figure it out, though, it's very easy to turn on and off.
Yeah.
But you just have to find that way to make your brain click.
Yeah.
And I always ask. Now it's the first question I ask whenever I have to do a fight or whenever I have to throw a punch, even if I have to push somebody, anything it is that I'm doing. I'm like,
yeah,
am I a guy who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
And if they're like, no, I'm like, okay. And I literally have the smallest little thing that I do. If it's a fight, if I don't know what's going on, normally when we have our hand, we square up, our elbows are tucked in. My elbows are kind of inside my ribs, right? And I know that they're inside. I do the absolute opposite when they say to play a knucklehead. I stretch my arms out, I roll my shoulders back, and I kind of work my hands around, and I keep my hands down.
Yep.
And I make sure what I try and do is I try and not hold my hands. I try and keep my arms greater than 90 degrees.
Right.
So 90 and less makes me look like a fighter. 90 and more to 180 makes me look like I'm untrained and my hands are away from my face and I'm trying to be tough.
That's a cool tip.
That's kind of the way I think about it.
Now, the funny thing, the interesting thing is it's not only about looking unskilled because I was just thinking like most of the decent fights that I've got to do on camera, I was doubling a character that the character did know how to fight, but you still have to do it wrong for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you still can't do it the way you would do it in real life.
Very true. Or you have to emulate the way that they punch.
Yeah. So like that kind of leads into Tim Lasick's comment. And so for those who don't know Tim, he's an awesome dude, but he was a real life fighter, the early days of bare knuckle MMA, also high level wrestler. And I had a chance to roll with Tim. It's like a solid block of granite. Dude's a beast.
Just can't move anything.
No.
There's no joints.
But super fluid and loose, too. I loved rolling with him. Tim, if you're listening, I loved rolling with you that time you came by. So Tim wrote a very long comment. And so some of these comments, I took pieces of them. But he wrote a really long comment on our Instagram post. So definitely check that out. But he wrote, if there was a hump to overcome, it was the cognitive dissonance of purposely making my punching mechanics sloppier. The quick, direct, efficiently generated punches that I spent years mastering, then teaching, generally don't read as well on film.
Nope. It's too fast. The camera can't see it.
Yep.
It has no idea.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's funny, but that's huge because, you sit here like, we've had, kind of a dual classes lately because we've had people coming in and training with us, that are going to be, training for film.
Yeah.
Or that are training for film.
So just so the people listening and watching know, for the last month or so, we've had some performers training in our regular classes with us just to get a baseline of some physical literacy because they have to do some fight scenes, but they've never even trained anything before. So, yeah, it's interesting, right? When you've got the two groups in the same class, you got the people doing it for aesthetic purposes, but who also need to build a foundation from which to kind of grow. And then the other people who really are learning how to fight. It
was actually really funny the first day when we were getting into sparring and whatever. They're like, oh, we don't need to do this. I'm like, yes, you do. I'm like, you're sparring.
Yeah. Listen, it can't hurt. I mean, it can hurt.
I'm like, I was going to say, we're very controlled. No,
No, we're not talking about beating the shit out of each other.
And by the end of the class, they loved it.
It's fun.
Everybody loves sparring if you do it right.
But it's, knowing what it feels like to get caught helps you act like you got caught.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that shock, surprise, pain, whatever. Robert Chapin said, I'm going to make fun of him here, Robert. He said, not killing the other person like you've been trained to do. Muscle memory is a funny thing. It's especially sensitive under pressure. Like when someone yells roll, camera, and action. And that's the same thing in real fights, right? You always go back to your baseline under pressure.
You know what's funny? The hardest thing I find to do.
And by the way, I just want to say, Robert Chapin, do you actually train to kill people? He said not killing people like you train to do. Like, how many people have you killed, Robert?
What did we just find out about you?
Yeah, totally.
So when you slam someone in a wall,
yeah, right.
I can slam you into a wall different than I can slam someone into a wall that I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you know that, in all honesty, you could probably slam me into a wall as hard as you wanted to, and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
Right? But so other people, it's so wall slams are always a great dictation of like who you're working with, because sometimes you stand there in front of the wall and you see how much that person goes into the wall on their own, and then you're like, how much are they waiting for me to actually put them into the wall? Mm-hmm. And then very, very rarely is there ever a moment where either person is waiting to get slammed. It usually just kind of happens, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
To find that dance and without anyone getting hurt, because there's so many things that can go wrong with a wall slam.
Dude, that just accentuates the dance that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your moves will look better if I'm helping you tell the story and I'm slamming myself into the wall with you.
Absolutely.
Right? And it makes me think of the actor that I'm training right now, where they have to do the arm bar, and part of the arm bar, the finish, they slam the attacker's head into the wall,
mm-hmm.
the arm bar. So we were watching it on video, and the actor was like, oh my God, that looks so great, because I'm throwing myself into the wall.
Right.
You're doing the arm bar properly.
Right. Like when we did Prey and TJ slammed my head in the wall to kill my character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just grab the back of my head and leave your arm like jelly and look angry. I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, I'll throw myself in. So it's all about the teamwork,
mm-hmm.
right? Bobby McFarlane, our buddy Bobby up in Connecticut, very good rigger, by the way. If you ever need somebody to talk to about that. He wrote, this is my entire career in stunts, and I could probably write a book on how many challenges I had with this transition. I think one of the funniest issues is that some very real and effective combative techniques somehow look fake on camera, while some very fake techniques look really good to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Building an understanding on quote-unquote what sells on screen is extremely important and difficult to teach. Not only that, but letting go of ego and a need for realism is important when you have a story to tell to people who aren't watching to learn how to fight.
Yeah, that's that's great. That reminds me, again, other episodes I've mentioned when I worked with Tony.
Yeah.
And, he was like, come up with a gun take. And now I know he knew exactly what he was going to do. He just wanted to see where my head was at. And
yep.
He used the day to teach me a great lesson. And this was the lesson. And I think gun takes is actually one of those things that certain things are really, really cool in person, but to get the camera where it needs to be to see what's actually happening is not very easy. So that's a lot of times why you see the same old gun take, because it's the one that the camera can read the technical ability of the take.
Yeah, totally. It's camera placement. We're going to get into that.
And again, going back to the episode with Tutman,
yeah,
we're not shooting with an iPhone.
So we're talking about David Tutman, cinematographer, who was on Breaking Down.
And he was talking about sometimes when stunt guys shoot previses,
yeah,
they shoot it with a phone, and they don't take into context that they're not shooting with a phone. They're shooting with a camera, and they can't do the same things.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you shoot a previs, just bring it up again, it's much better if you shoot it with the mindset that is a big camera, not a phone.
That is heavy and can't move the way.
So a lot of these takes, you need to get in there and underneath to kind of see a lot of the technical points of it. And you can't do it with a real camera.
Yep. And our buddy Johnny Wang actually reiterated. He made a really long post too, but one of the points he made is reiterating Bobby's point about the people that are watching. why they're watching you. They're not watching you to learn how to fight, right? And Johnny said the average person can't tell good and bad technique apart. So it doesn't matter how precise the technique really is. He's right. To the average viewer, they don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we know. We'll watch stuff and be, oh, they're holding the gun wrong, or, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. But most people never catch that.
Well, I think also that, again, another thing we've gone into in other episodes in shooting is that what the eye thinks it sees on screen isn't what it actually sees. It's what the brain interprets. And a lot of the times those technique issues, you're not seeing any of that. Your brain is putting it together for you.
Yeah.
So, you may see the beginning and you may see the end, but the whole middle is completely obsolete. So again, it's just something that our eye catches, that we know the technique was wrong from the very moment it was thrown, because that's what we do. And
it's also like, and we'll get into this more in the camera awareness part, but it's also how it's shot. Like, is this like a John Wick wide, where they're going to show the whole action so you can see everything? Or is it like a in tight, shaky cam, like where you're missing a lot of the,
right.
You don't have to see all the detail.
Like if you can draw your fist back and not look left-handed anger.
Yeah.
If you're looking.
Well, and if you're a lefty, the right.
Right. If you're not swatting like a kitty. Right. If you can just draw your fist back, I don't care what your punch looks like coming out.
Yeah.
And then when you finish, your arm is level to wherever the target was.
Yeah.
Right. That stack or that cell is there.
Dude,
I don't care what you look like in the middle. It's going to work every time.
Finishing strong. This is something I was working on with that.
Pulling the punch back is so much better than getting the punch out.
That's the end of a sentence. That's the exclamation point, the period, the question mark, whatever point you're trying to make.
Your fucking stamp on it.
It's that last, how you finish a sequence.
Yep.
You have to look solid. And how you start and how you end.
It's a great example of a finish is go watch American History X and go watch Edward Norton stomp that dude's head on the curb.
Dude, that scene, man.
You want to see an insane finish?
Yeah.
That is, talk about selling it.
Didn't I just see that in episode of The Boys? I think I just saw a head stomp in episode of The Boys.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my God. So creepy. And then our buddy Jeff Colangello of Code 1010, who's also been on the show, ironically, because he was one of the team that won the 87 North competition. Yep. He wrote, honestly, the big thing for me was transitioning from speed and efficiency to creating aesthetically pleasing lines. It took me years to get out of that habit.
Interesting.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that comment, Paul? I mean, I get the speed and efficiency. I get, like, when you're training to actually fight, you're training for effectiveness.
I mean, I guess it depends, because if you go through to a lot of the old school, like, kung fu action flicks and those things, they fought and they did a lot of beat pauses to talk, and then they would fight again, and then they would beat pause, and then they would, a beat pause is something I'm just made up, but, pause in between the beats, but they literally wouldn't really talk as they fought. They would fight, stop, say dialogue, and fight.
I think actually it's interesting you bring up the Hong Kong cinema stuff, because there the graceful lines are much more important. You know what I mean? And so I think that regarding the lines, the graceful lines that he's talking about, or the aesthetically pleasing lines, maybe that is one of the issues that we are going to talk about, is what kind of fight is it that you have to do on screen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And, going back to our first workshop, and what Doug Crosby said is just let the note play.
Yeah. Just let
it ring.
Yeah. You don't have to rush on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like in a real fight, when you rock somebody and I'm yelling from the corner, go finish it. Here, I'd be like, you rock somebody. Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Let him get rocked.
Yeah. Let him get rocked. Let us see him get rocked.
Enjoy your work.
Let us see your reaction to rocking that guy. The second category that people's comments kind of drifted towards was, again, it's about being technically untechnical, But this is, and I'm going to use Jonah Young, our buddy Jonah Young. He said distance management. So I'm going to use that as the title of this section, distance management, which is a real thing. So Lamar Washington, the first person who commented on the thread, actually, or one of the first, said spacing, especially if you're coming from a wrestling grappling sport.
Yeah.
Keeping the distance.
You don't want to accidentally hit somebody. And again, we always refer to people make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
People miss their mark. People are too close on their mark. You always go through the story of that Harrison Ford punched Ryan Gosling. And, Harrison Ford's like, well, your face wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those 50-50s. But, if you're not Harrison Ford and you're the stunt guy and you throw that punch to Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm.
you better know how to make sure you don't punch him in the face, even if he's in the wrong spot.
Well, here's the thing, right? Assuming that it's not malicious. If an actor hits us.
Happens. I got stabbed in the eye.
Totally. Yeah, you did on Dead City. You got stabbed in the eye by
Lauren.
Yep. Man, she got you right in the eye.
Right in the fucking eyeball. And she's like, "Did I get you?" And I was like, "Nope, you're fine." And then
Maggie's supposed to know how to use that thing better.
Yeah, right. And James comes up to me. He goes, "Did she get you?" I was like, "Right in the fucking eye, dude." And then what was so funny was afterwards, he's like, "Everybody good?" We were all like, "Yeah." And then the next thing he goes, "Paul, how's your eye, man?" And he's like totally kind of calling her out. He was awesome for doing that.
But the point being is that it's forgivable if the actor does it because
Absolutely.
They're not training day in and day out to do this.
And in all honesty, what was really funny is she did say, "Oh shit." She knew she got me. And she said, "Oh shit." And I just went with it and fell. And that's actually the take that they used.
Oh, every time. Most 99% of the time you get hit by an actor, they feel like shit about it.
And I went through, she went through the rest of the scene and like she came over, she checked and I totally was like, "You didn't get me. You're fine."
But you as the stunt performer are expected to be able to manage the distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not forgivable if you do it.
No.
Now, especially not to an actor.
Which goes back to, again, the first time I ever worked when I threw a punch at Chris Brewster's face. And he was like, "Dude, that punch was great." He goes, "I knew you weren't going to hit me. I was fine with it." Yep. He goes, "But you can't throw that at a number one."
Well, it's a perfect example is actually Tim Lasik, who commented on this. We'll read his comment next. But on Ray Donovan, Eddie Marson actually headbutted him during the scene while they were rolling. And in the middle of the shoot, Eddie's like stopped and he was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And Tim is like any of us would have been, "I'm fine, keep going."
Yep.
But we can't do that.
No.
When people talk about expected abilities, I would say distance management is an expected ability.
For sure. I mean, I've heard a story. I'm not going to bring it up who, but we'll always laugh about it. Guy who yelled cut after.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never heard of a story where I was like, "God, you couldn't fuck up any worse than yelling cut on a real set because you got whatever."
I think I'm just going to put the caveat, which doesn't apply to this story, but if it's a real safety caveat, fucking do it.
Yes, but this wasn't that.
If you've got a real concussion, if your arm is really broken and shattered, or if you see something going on in the background that's an actual safety concern, fuck it, say cut.
Absolutely. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone.
Yeah, I know.
Just rolling a little bit wrong. Nothing really happening.
Yeah, they cracked.
They cracked, and they stopped the scene. Like, it was bad.
But Tim, on this issue of distance management, Tim wrote on his comment, also the refined sense of distance and an underpinning of decent footwork gained from fighting for a living for years has kept me from actually hitting anyone on set in more than 20 years. And then just to follow up, our good friend Hannah D. Scott, who actually still fights today in Muay Thai.
Yes.
She is still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's got her foot in both worlds still. She's done some really amazing screen fights, but she wrote, one of the hardest things I found was to be open, not having the tight guard or looking like a fighter, unless, of course, the character is. I think people worry that if we, and what she means is real fighters. If we actually fight and train properly, we won't be safe. Don't understand range, etc., control. People often think you'll hit the actor or a scene partner, but I find it's the opposite. I have a better understanding of range. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with that, 100%. And people ask, like, hey, what's the point of training, like what we're doing with these actors, right? Training them in the real classes with everybody else, even though they're going to probably undo some of the stuff that they did to make it look more sloppy or whatever. Like, what's the point?
I mean, think about all the students we don't knock out that walk into punches. That's because we have really good fucking control. And that's in the moment.
Yes.
That's not even milliseconds to think about it. That's literally instinct. Mm-hmm. And you're able to pull a punch and not knock somebody out when you're in the middle of throwing it.
Yep.
That's harder than what we do.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that both Tim and Hannah, who were and still are actual fighters, mm-hmm. both said the same thing.
Yeah.
That is their training to actually fight that has helped them really control the distance. 100%.
I think, and understanding it as well, because I'll be honest, I think, like you and I talk about the times we hit each other, mm-hmm. but we always laugh about it because we were always on the reaction or at the very, very end of it. Like, it was always like, I almost want to call it a touch with the punch.
Well, it's also with us, or we've
not like a deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, sure. Or like with you and Jared with the staff thing and Troy and just like all that. Part of that is us pushing the envelope,
getting more comfortable, not saying anything and knowing it. Even I was like, when he caught me in the lip with that, I'm like, God, he's getting close. I was like, but he's going, it looks awesome. And
that's
awesome.
The thing, because we're two stunt performers practicing mm-hmm. and just doing our own passion projects or whatever. That's not what you don't push the envelope with an actor.
No.
Even with another stunt performer, like we'll be like I remember I was with Chris Gombos in this fight scene from Ray Donovan, and we had body shots to do. He's like, "Oh, you can hit me in the body. I don't care." Like we do. You can hit me.
Yep.
I'm not gonna haul off and punch him in the face.
No.
But body shots.
Oh yeah. I've had not actors. When I say actors, I mean men. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to refer to actresses. But I've had most actors don't really give a shit when I'm like, punch me in the body. And they're like, okay, cool. I'm like, punch me as hard as you want. It doesn't really matter. We're fighters. There's no way you're hitting me as hard as I've been hit and get hit.
Yeah.
On the regular to the body.
Yep.
And, but it's so funny with a lot of the actresses, they're the ones who are worried about hitting you too hard. Mm-hmm. And those are the ones where you're like, you can literally hit me as hard as you want.
Yeah.
But then there are some people that stunt wise don't touch them.
Oh yeah.
Stack your shots because they've never fought before.
Well, listen,
so they don't know how to take a punch like we can take a punch.
And some people, let me just say actors, just because we're talking about working with actors and distance management. I recently had an actor on the last movie that I was working on that wanted to be smacked in the face. Oh, just smack. I'm like, we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Because we're going through fight choreography. We're blocking it and stuff.
And if you're doing, it's like, look, on the take, smack me in the face. We'll get one and we're done.
No, but this was a young actor, just like kind of like in their late teens. You know what I mean?
When
you want an adult man to smack you in the face for this scene? Like, no way, bro.
No.
We can fake this. Yeah. It's fine. You know what? Not going to happen. You can do that on your own. Your buddies.
And so many, like, you don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tooth can go through a lip.
Oh, so much stuff.
So many bad things can happen just from a slap.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when one person doesn't know how to slap, doesn't know how to manage distance, is a little bit nervous, goes in a little too far with the palm. What happens if you box someone's ear?
Dude, or going back to my early martial art days, I actually got a very light punch to the face. Sparring with somebody, but it shattered my tooth because I had a cavity on the inside. Mm-hmm. Didn't know it, but it was like, degrading on the inside. And once I got hit, boom, tooth shattered. It would be done for the day if that was more than the day if that was on set.
When I work with Federico, he and I, if we're doing any type of a fight, he and I worked with a bunch at mocap work. I can't say for what, not yet. But we did.
I'm going to be a technical person right now. Fix do that. There we go.
Need to be little. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he and I kind of have like an ongoing, I guess it's a physical joke of,
Yeah.
if we're working together, we know one of us is going to punch the other one in the body at some point, but we're not going to say when in the sequence. And so basically, like, we were working mocap work, and the first punch I had on him was a body punch, and I fucking ripped it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I ripped it right in, and
Yeah.
he was like, "You asshole!" And then the next one, he was expecting me to hit him, and I didn't even touch him. And it was just afterwards, he's like, "How the fuck?" He's like, "You're such an asshole." He's like, "How do you rip one into me?" That one. He's like, and then I braced for it. I think you're going to do it again. He's like, and you don't. And then literally, Manny was coordinating that day. And then Manny looks at Federico. I think he kind of knew what we were doing. He's like, "All right, Federico." He's like, "You're going to push kick Paul." And he just looks at me dead in my eyes. He goes, "You know, it's going to fucking happen, right?" I was like, I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Wait, which Manny? Manny Ayala?
No, Severio.
Oh, Manny Severio.
Yeah. He was coordinating the mocap work.
And so what's interesting is Charlie Parrish. Hey, Charlie. He commented, so many thoughts. First, each art is going to have its own challenges, which is so true. The universal challenges that first come to mind are the training to miss, not make contact, which is what we're talking about. Second, opening, loosening up technique so the camera can see. And then I'm just going to follow up with our other number one fan, McKee Carpenter. And this is kind of following up on Charlie, because he's talking about the different styles have different challenges. McKee wrote, as a performer fencer, because he came from fencing, from real fencing, I had a hard time adjusting my point away from my partner, the point of his saber or whatever he was using. For the longest time, the point between us is what kept me safe.
Oh, interesting.
Right? I never thought of that, but that's kind of like the 5-degree rule that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to learn to do the 5 So for those listening or watching, the 5-degree rule is you never have to punch directly at somebody's face or point a gun directly at somebody's face.
Mm-hmm.
More appropriately, the gun.
You know, it's funny.
5-degree rule is off, so you're never pointing directly at their face. The camera won't notice.
It made me realize that sometimes when we spar, we have a lot of fucking students that'd be great at stunts. Because they do not punch me in the face. They punch me 5 degrees to the left and 5 degrees to the right. And I'm like, just punch me right down the fucking middle.
But McKee is bringing it up in the context of a sword or a saber.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Well,
right?
we had one of our good buddies, Jared Kirby, came from a fencing background.
Mm-hmm.
And if we ever talk to him, which I'm sure we will at some point,
sure,
he'll tell you that was a hard adjustment for him as well, coming from a fencing world and a stage combat world and transferring over, because even that's different. Let's just say your background isn't martial arts. Some people, you say, "What's your background?" And they go, "Well, I've done stage combat."
Yeah.
That is a completely different type of combat than it is than what we do for film.
It's not. Okay. Let's be honest. We stunt people joke about the stage combat people a lot, but it's not. It's only in good fun. The reality is that stage combat, completely different set of goals.
Mm-hmm.
And the environment is completely different, right? So,
and the audience is on one side of you.
Well, yeah, it's always playing to one angle, but more importantly, you don't have doubles. You don't have stunt doubles
mm-hmm.
in theater, right? Generally speaking. And I'm sure there's some case somewhere where they did that, but generally speaking, you don't have stunt doubles. So safety is even more important than it is for us. Like for us, we're happy with mostly safe. Like we're accepting a level of risk
always
that would not be acceptable in theater, right? Because there's no stunt doubles. If that person gets stabbed or hurt or whatever, that's, now we're on to the understudy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be the bar for safety is way higher. And because of that, I mean, in tandem with that, I don't think the theatrical audience expects it to look real like the television and film audience expects it to look real, right? So you've got all these characters, so you can get away with less quote unquote real looking stuff in theater and less dramatic, unsafe stuff in theater because one, you've got to protect the actors, and two, the audience doesn't care so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, and three, you're playing to the nosebleed seats, right? You're playing to those people all the way up there. So the dramatic movements have to be even more dramatic than. So I think it's like kind of like screen fighting is somewhere in the middle. This is my theory. You can post in the comments if you think I'm full of shit. But the screen fighting is somewhere in the middle of stage and reel. Like reel, you're so tight, you have to open it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Open.
Right.
For the screen. But for the live performers, you have to tighten it up a little bit for the screen. Like the screen is somewhere in the middle of that on that spectrum, I would say. Eric's Son, also, season finale last season, season 2. Go check it out. Great episode, very popular episode.
Talking about the Rip.
Yeah, the Rip, where he was Steven Yeun's stunt double. He wrote, this is such a good one, meaning the question. Had to spend a lot of time practicing footwork drills and taekwondo to get lighter and be a better dance partner.
Mention the dance partner comment again.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Because this is a partnership. We're telling a story. Oh, and our good friend, Francesca, aspiring stunt woman, resisting the urge to close the distance and pressure forward when striking. Because she also's fought for real.
Yes.
In the cage.
Mm-hmm.
So
she trains with us.
Yeah. Distance management. It's a real thing. Oh, last one for distance measurement. Our buddy Calvin, also from season 1.
Mm-hmm. Great
guy. Love you, Cal. I remember the main challenge.
You're okay, Cal. You're all right.
He's all right. Oh my God. Go back and check out his episode, The Chosen with a Z, Chosen.
That was a good
one.
episode.
Because he doubled Chosen on
the karate. Or no. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, totally. I remember the main challenge in the beginning was learning to adjust choreography for the camera. I personally found film fighting similar to martial arts, kata, and theatrical fighting, where I needed to learn how to act and sell the fight. However, for film fighting, adjusting distance, timing, striking angles, footwork, and keeping track of the camera position was tricky for me. That's an interesting one. And that leads right into camera awareness.
Yes.
Boom. Johnny Wang. Technique could be fabulous. If the camera can't catch it, it doesn't mean shit. I love that. It's so true. I mean, that is one of the hardest things. Let's assume you're pretty good at the partner dance.
Mm-hmm.
The third person in the room, in the fight, is always the camera op.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that camera? Is it over my right shoulder? Is it over my left shoulder? Is it over there? Is it a wide? Is it this? Is it that? Is it a low angle? Is it a high angle? And you have to adjust everything.
You know, I remember the first time actually it was on The Good Fight, and I was not a stunt guy. I was playing an assistant instructor, and it was kind of the first time I was playing a character that was actually part of the scene, if you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That wasn't just there as a whatever. So
you weren't some ND thug. You were an actual character,
right? Yeah. So when we're doing our dance, there was a moment when we had to like grab each other, and he was going to trip me and whatever. I was making sure that he was in front of me, and I couldn't see the camera. Like right. I was purposely blocking it out because that's what I always do, because it's just not, camera's not there to see me. So it's just so. The camera guy comes up to me and he's like, he keeps moving into your line. Can you make sure that, and I didn't realize that he actually was kind of moving out of the way, but for me, it didn't matter because I was like, whatever, I can't see the camera. Camera's not supposed to see me.
You were thinking like a stunt guy.
So I was like, I'm good. And then
hide my face.
When the camera guy comes up to me, he's like, hey, make sure you keep him to your left because I want to see your face. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're the other instructor in the scene. He's like, and I was like, it took a second. I was like, you want to see me?
Yeah, nobody wants to see you in reality,
right? Paul. What the fuck?
This is when TV is fake. But no, for real though. But we talk about this a lot when we're training actors, right? If you're a stunt or training rookie stunt people, if you're a stunt person, keep those hands up nice and high. Hide your face. Don't get burned.
Yep. Knock on your eyebrow.
If you're an actor and you want to be seen. Yeah.
Knock on your chin.
Drop that hand nice and low so
knock on your chin.
See your handsome face or pretty face or whatever face you want to see.
It's weird, but there is a way to make it look like you have your hands up while your hands are down to, from a technical fighting standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
On camera.
Yeah, for sure. Mark Cheng. Hey, buddy. Each move only needs to sell and look good from one angle, the camera's angle.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then Darren Holmquist commented, Camera awareness is difficult for fighters. This was actually a really good point. You talk about the real fight, people coming from fighting to screen. Is difficult for fighters because they're taught not to care what something looks like. They need to be effective. Maybe they were able to throw a punch great for one angle, but when production changes the angle, they struggle throwing the same move differently because of the different camera placement.
Right. So one angle you got to throw it across the jaw, and then the next time they move it below and behind you, and you got to throw it across the eyebrow.
Yeah.
But they know how to throw a punch to knock you out.
Or if it's a low angle, you got to throw it sometimes like under the chin, like down here, nice and low. But it is true, like the point he made about actual fighters not caring about how it looks. You're just trying to get a job done. And now all of a sudden, like getting the job done is about how it looks. It's completely different. Ego was the next category that people talked about. And our buddy Dewan White, who's an actual boxer and a really talented stunt performer. I know you work with him a bunch in mocap. Yeah.
We worked for, honestly, years together.
Yeah. He said, challenges I've encountered have mostly been ego related. Some fighters can't separate their real selves from the role they're playing, and it's a huge pitfall.
Well, that guy can. I'll tell you what, because he is a phenomenal boxer, man. He has a right hand that is just as crisp as a fucking crystal lake on a summer morning, man.
Yep.
And he can be as goofy and loose and shitty as you need to be. Because again, we've done everything working on mocap together. And he and I also had a fun day where they just let us do a bunch of wrestling throws and stuff because he and I could do that.
Yeah.
And they just let us stay late and we were suplexing each other and it was awesome.
Dude, he's right though. There definitely is ego. And also from the actor perspective, you know that I doubled somebody on a show that had some, let's just say, real life, real world fighting from their military background, but were terrible on screen. Were terrible, but their ego wouldn't let them let somebody else do it for them. And then the fear of the director from standing up to the lead also just let it happen. I mean, we were all on set like, this looks like total poop, but what are you going to do? You know, it's the ego. But
was that when the person got called back, unbeknownst to the actor?
You mean
and they reshot it?
We got asked if we were available to come back. The doubles, we got asked if we were available to come back.
Well, you didn't mention it was you, so I didn't want to bring it up.
It doesn't matter. I mean, but it was on another. They were like, "Hey, are you free to come back on another day and redo this whole scene
when he's not working?
When he's not here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take another day for sure." But the ego is also with performers. Like you have to know your place when you're doing this.
I want to do my own place.
Stunts. You are not. This is not about you,
right? When they're like, "I want to do my own stunts." Why? No one's gonna fucking know until that you tell them afterwards.
This is not about you showing off how fucking good you are. That's not what this is about.
Nope.
Like nobody gives a shit. And along those lines, Manny Ayala, love this guy. Such a fucking talented martial artist, that guy too. They need to be open-minded to choreo and stop suggesting that the choreo in hand is not realistic. This or that won't work in a real fight. Or why am I losing if this guy's smaller than me or like whatever.
Right.
Your job is to tell a story.
Your job is not even tell a story. Your job is to tell someone else's story. So shut the fuck up and tell it.
Yes. Yeah. You're just one small part of this bigger organism that is a storytelling machine. That is a film. It's like
sometimes it's they don't shoot things in order. They'll shoot, if you're shooting a movie or whatever, they'll shoot stuff out of order. You need to know where your character's at before and after what's going on in that scene. Because if you just go in that day and you read the scene, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to play it this way," and then the director's like, "Dude, your wife just got hit by a car 3 pages before this.
Yeah,
did you not?
You should be grieving right now, dude.
You're grieving, right?
Yeah.
Why are you?"
Yeah.
And that, so make sure you read your script. Make sure you know where your character's supposed to be at, because sometimes you may just look like an asshole.
Like, honestly, read the sides. This is what I would say to the rookies. Read the sides that they give you. Like, when you get to base camp and you're in your trailer and they give you the sides, fucking read them. It's amazing to me how many people actually don't.
I've been there on days when actors don't know their lines and fake being sick.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've all been in, I mean, I have, and I'm sure other people have. I've been in scenes where the actors, where I know the lines and I'm waiting for them to say it, and they're, you know, they're like, line, you know, like asking for the line. But then again, I don't have the pressure of being the lead of a
and having to memorize
show and have to memorize like 12 episodes or like whatever. I just
pages every day.
Yeah.
And then wash it and then go in and learn something new. That would be very rough for me.
But if you're a stunt performer and you get to set early, which you should, and you're sitting in your trailer or the honey or whatever, read the fucking side.
Take off your headphones.
Yes.
You're not there early to just hang out and just be cool in your trailer. Like, work.
Read the sides and read the parts with the big X through it. Like, we're not doing this today. Read that too. It's going to give you context of everything.
And it helps you when you get on set. And, you know, you don't want to look like a lost little kid in a forest when they're talking about the scene.
Yes.
And also, or just trying to get your feet wet. You know, people are going to know if you're going slow into the cold water.
Well, listen, on the call sheet, on that front page, when they're talking about we're doing this scene and then this scene and then this scene and then this scene, and, you know, 2X's in this scene and 10X's in this scene, and, you know, and if you haven't read the scenes, you're going to be like, read the scenes.
And listen on set.
Yes.
When you're on set and they're talking about stuff, shut the fuck up. Listen to what they're saying, and maybe you're going to realize where you need to be. And being there before someone tells you makes you look very good.
I've been on sets where performers who were maybe making some mistakes were asked to their face, do you know what scene we're shooting? What's happening in this scene? And didn't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know, and it'll help you be part of that storytelling collaboration.
You know, there was an experience. I was on set and there were two other people. One person was counting on another person to give them their mark, and they had done it for a bunch. Mm-hmm. And then something had changed for that person, for the person that was giving the mark to the other person who had a blind out. Mm-hmm. And, which is basically means he has to come out during action at a certain time, but there's really no way for this guy to know what time because nobody can see him and he can't see anybody behind camera or anywhere because he's coming out from behind a counter and he's hiding, and he has to come out at a certain time and no one can give him a signal. So I call that a blind out, and it's a really, really tough thing to do. Mm-hmm. And if you can find someone who can give you a call and you can count on that guy, it's great.
Yeah.
But you still got to figure out a way to make sure you make your mark.
Yeah.
Whether you're depending on that person or not, that's your backup to make sure you don't fuck up. And this guy's, the guy who was giving him the signal had to do something else, and he wasn't able to give him the out signal. And this guy missed his mark 4 times in a row.
Well, that's the point that you're making about things change on set all the time. You won't know that something's changing if you didn't read the fucking sides. Like, I've been on set where, you know, the director decides to do something differently. The way it's not the way it's written. The only way you'll know if something changes is if you actually read the way it's written.
Yeah.
Like, read the way it's written. You know, like, on Caught Stealing, when I was driving the cab, and I'm supposed to, and I almost hit Bad Bunny, right? But that was written that I almost hit a different actor, Austin Butler. The way it was written, Austin Butler runs across the street, and I almost hit him.
There was an actual, and that was funny because when you told me that story, when I actually saw Caught Stealing, I confused it because they actually both, he gets hit by a car, and then Bad Bunny almost gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
So it both happened, and I confused them both, and I was like, "Oh, dude," I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "They showed it," and you're like, "What?" And I was like, "Dude," and then later on, you're like, "No, I was the other hit," and
I was the one that almost hit him. Yeah. But the point is when we shot, nobody told me that it's not going to be Austin Butler running across the street. It's going to be Bad Bunny. So I was late. I was late on action. I'm waiting for Austin Butler. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I think I'm supposed to hit Bad Bunny because so I just went. I was a little late though because it changed.
Right.
But then I was on point the rest of the time. But the only way I would know why I was late is because I knew what the story was. And when I said to the coordinator, like, I'm really sorry. I thought I was supposed to hit Austin Butler. He goes, oh yeah. But they changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, cool. But you're only going to know if they changed something if you actually read the pages. So read the pages. Back to Hannah D. Scott, our fighter friend and awesome friend in general. When it comes to the ego section, she said, I also think there's some vanity I've seen where real martial artists or fighters want to look good. But if you're doubling, you have to let go of some of that or it doesn't match. If that makes sense. Definitely, definitely glad I've got good reflexes when some scene partners' strikes are a little too close for comfort. Haha.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
I gave you a compliment actually when they posted the behind the scenes of when you were doubling Eddie about how you held your hands and you fought and you threw punches like he did.
Oh yeah,
from the back. And even I think I also complimented you on the behind the scenes footage when you were walking out on Devs because I couldn't tell because I saw them both. I saw him walk out, and then I saw you walk out because on the rehearsal days he did both. I couldn't tell who was who from the back. Like if you were decided to shuffle those two scenes and then show them to me, I wouldn't be able to have been like, oh, this is him, this is you. You had his walk, you had he had a weird little limp, little slow movement. You had it all down.
Listen, the perfect example with the Eddie Marson thing, right? Is that day that fight you're talking about was
Parkinson's came back.
Well, yeah, but this was before that. This is a big bar. This is a big bar fight, right? So, so Eddie was when he would stand, we couldn't get him to stop sticking his pinkies out, which is completely an incorrect. This ties back into doing something incorrectly,
right?
So that morning we had a pre-call to create the choreography with Doc and everybody else, and then we do it. We do the wide master to just show the director. And they're like, oh, that looks great, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's do it that way. And then when we all left the bar, the camera op was like, holy shit, I thought you were Eddie. Because I had the pinkies out. I had the improper stance that, we couldn't really get Eddie to correct to make it look like a real boxer, even though his character was supposed to be a real boxer. He still was making those little mistakes. You've got to make those mistakes. That's your job. You have to make the mistakes.
Yep.
You have to look.
Sometimes you're not there. Sometimes you are there to been like, okay, this person is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Right. You need to make them look like they're fucking on point in the action.
Yeah.
And they're not very trained. They're not whatever. You have to make them look good. They'll do a little bit of the beginning and a little bit of the end, and it's their job to make it work. And if they don't, then that's on them, but you need to look as good as possible.
And to Hannah's
Sometimes
point,
that happens.
And to Hannah's point, keep your head on a swivel, especially if you're with a new performer. Because that ego, even if it's unintentional, still might be in there. They might be throwing a little harder and faster than
adrenaline
than they need to and all that kind of stuff. So be careful. And if you go back to the thread, Manny got into a discussion in subsequent chat about that, where he had to actually let some rookies go because they just couldn't do it on some stuff that he was coordinating. So you definitely need to dial it back. You know what I mean? It's always better to go slower and ask them to have you dial it up than to go super fast right away, potentially hurt somebody.
Fast,
and screw
jumpy, and it's unsafe. It makes people uncomfortable. Again, it's always better to have just been like, hey, pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, right, always underestimate to start. Always that's just and
always listen to the actor. Always do what they tell you to. When I was on Dead City, and I had to switch from one actor to the other, one guy was like, he had armor on or whatever, and I could tell he was a little more
rough and tumble.
No, actually it was the other way around.
Opposite.
The first guy was not so much.
Yeah.
And then Kim Coates was the other guy I was grabbing. And he's just like, dude, he's like, when you switch, he's like, grab me. He's like, you can he's like, put your hands on me, dude. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then I was still light, and he's like, no. He's like, you can grab. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. 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 So, and that all kind of leads up to this one, storytelling and acting, right? We're telling stories. and you gotta. That's your ultimate job. So CR Morehart on Facebook commented, teaching how to tell a story through the choreography, specific acting beats, and performance choices is super important. It's like, that's a very hard thing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extremely hard thing to learn.
Your punches tell stories. Your reactions tell stories. The beats in between those help tell a story.
There has to be a story. Like, and we've talked about it on the show.
Nothing worse than a video starting with two guys in the middle of a fight.
Yep.
And then it just goes to one or two cool moves, and then one guy standing over another guy, and it's over.
Or you're watching some practice fights people put up on Instagram or whatever. You don't know who's winning or losing.
There's so many. There's so many things you can do.
Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's damaged. There's no story. The story. It doesn't have to be
anything.
Shakespeare.
Take a napkin, put it in the middle of the room, and fight for the napkin.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yep.
That's a story.
You can't have nobody getting hurt until this amazing knockout punch at the end or some shit like that. And Johnny Wang, following up, said telling a story is more important than showing the martial art. Best case scenario, showing the martial art while telling the story. So he did the flip. But it's true. The story comes first.
It's balance. You have to find the balance.
And then T. Ryan Mooney said, we sell a product, the film, to our clients, the audience, and it does best when it's most legible to them, meaning the audience, not what's best fundamental technique.
Well, it goes to the John Wick with the triangle and shooting him in the head.
Oh yeah,
right?
At rehearsal.
And at rehearsal, and Keanu was like, I would shoot myself in the foot. He's like, who gives a shit?
J.J. Perry said, doesn't matter. It's a movie.
Doesn't matter. It's a movie.
Yeah.
And we all watched that scene in John Wick 2 when he has that guy in the triangle and he shoots him in the head. And you're like, dude, that bullet's going right through his head into your foot. Like there's
or
just
leg or something. Yeah,
there is just no way unless it like hit his bone and took a right angle.
That was such a huge lesson though, because at rehearsal I'm there and Keanu actually said to JJ, I would shoot myself in the leg.
He's like, who cares?
He's like, doesn't matter. It's a movie.
And you do that to me sometimes, and I'm like, who cares? It's a movie. But and sometimes you're just like, yeah, fuck, you're right.
In the end, it's fantasy. It's total. What we're giving people is total fantasy.
And like, look, if you're watching John Wick 2, we've already got you. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like you're already there.
Yep. Regarding storytelling, Tim Lasik, from a wrestling grappling perspective, the transition wasn't difficult. Mostly just making technique as polished or as gritty as the story and director demands. Following direction. Being able to raise it up, lower it up, clean it up, dirty it up. Darren Homka said difficulty acting when fighting. Fighters are taught to show no emotion, and they have to, and they do show it in fight scenes just as rage. Oh, I see what he's saying. It's difficult to get a fighter to block punches with the mindset of fear, as if he's overwhelmed or insecure of himself. They struggle with putting a bit of acting energy into the action performance that isn't just straight up anger. That's true.
First note I ever got was on the Daredevil thing, and it was my defense.
Yeah.
Because I was covering and going into the punches.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you have to put your arm out like you're shitting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you block Daredevil.
Yeah.
You don't cover and go. They're like, it looks awesome, dude. But that's not who you are.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And again, tough.
And I think his point about anger being sort of the most tangible emotion for a lot of people, just on a base level. And so it's always angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, you're not always angry.
Right.
But, that's kind of like the natural, like when you're fighting, it's like, what am I going to be angry? Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're shocked. You're scared. Like all these other emotions, right?
Sometimes you're fucking happy and psychotic and have this non-emotion look of enjoyment on your face.
Yeah, like the sadistic side.
Right?
Yeah, totally. Like you're having fun.
Like you gotta smell a chick and be fucking creepy.
That's you. You always play the creep really well. Jared DeCrose, our buddy. The big thing for me was the awareness expansion to the audience. technique can be tight or loose, fast or syncopated, and there wasn't much thought about it in the moment. You just knew your own style and adjusted for your opponent. But angles, frames, even story beats make it so just about everything has to go through this filter of the audience. Changing what you're doing to tell that story in that moment, reshaping your body in the image of the story.
I'll go into one more, I guess, kind of a subcategory of making it look like you don't know how to fight, but also making it look like you don't know how to fall.
Oh yeah.
And also knowing how to fall so you don't get hurt, knowing like you don't, like looking technically untechnical.
Well, we talked about it with Jude Poyer in the last
with the hand, right, when he's like, that's great. Now do it again without slapping your hand out.
Yeah.
And I think that most of these stunt people or people that are looking to get into stunts think that martial arts will get you there. But I will tell you 99% of my jobs, I didn't throw a punch, but I had to hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't give a shit how much martial arts you know.
Yeah.
If you can't hit the ground, you cannot be a stunt person. Period.
That's you.
Period.
Talk about essential skills.
You have to be able to hit the ground safely at 12:30 in a Walmart.
Yeah.
Anthony, we use that all the time now, and it was funny that day I was working with Anthony
Anthony Hong
on Power when I was doing those front falls, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, all night long, all day long, 25 falls. And he's just like, you could do this at Walmart. And we both started laughing,
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. And not only that, you got to act like it doesn't bother you.
Well, and while we're talking about what kind of along the lines you said, like I got in the business essentially because of martial arts, because of fight skill. And it was years
before you got in a fight,
before I got to do a fight.
Yep.
Like that's the other thing that I think new people trying to get into the business that get in because of fight skill.
Nope. I get thrown, I get shot, I get blown up, I run.
Most of your time is going to be spent getting your ass kicked and eating the dirt.
Mm-hmm. You don't even get to throw a punch.
Yeah. Maybe you start one.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's it,
Yeah.
And your skill better be pretty top notch, and you better be known for something if you think you're going to get into a throwdown with a number one early on in your career.
Dude, my first job was
most likely
shot.
You're just going to get you might get your ass kicked by a number one.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to be doing much to them.
My first job was getting shot, hitting the ground. The first bunch of just hit the ground. That's still the majority of the work. Hit the ground.
Yep.
That's what you're here to do.
That's it.
The bruises.
And you got to sell it.
Yeah.
And you got to sell it in a way to where they think you're hitting the ground hard and you're not.
Yes.
And that's you have no idea how great that is to have everyone around you think you're fucking.
Are you okay?
And you're just like, yeah, I'm good. Like in your head, just keep your mouth shut. Don't tell anybody.
Well, here's my advice.
Let them think you're selling, you're going 100 every time, but sell it.
If you're new, my advice would be like, you can still get up a little slow. You can say I'm fine. Get up a little slow, even if you don't have to. Just let them think it hurt a little. It's to your benefit. It's like it's like the Boss Rutan advice for fighting. When you're in pain, your face should look like you're not in pain.
Right.
When you're not in pain, your face should look like you are in pain, just to fool your opponent. Even if you did a fall, you're not at all hurt or tweaked or in pain or anything, just get up a little slow.
Yeah. And but make sure when you start your scene,
yeah,
don't start your scene hurt.
No.
Start your scene like you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Don't start your scene like you want somebody to notice that, give you attention.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that.
No. Don't steal the scene.
But I mean, give you attention like, oh, I just took that fall hard. I want somebody to notice it. I'm going to,
Oh yeah.
No.
Nobody gives a shit.
Fuck, dude. That's what you're there to do.
Yes. You're there to take that punishment.
And I promise you I remember our first workshop was somebody was like, you're only as good as your last job. And I'm a dick of a boss, but I looked at Steve and I leaned over and I'm like, bro, you're only as good as you're only as bad as your last fuck up.
Well, it's
like, oh, you're supposed to do your job. Nobody's going to remember you for doing what you're supposed to do, but someone's going to remember you when you're supposed to do something you're supposed to do and you fucking can't.
Dude, it's like when people ask, does the fall ever not hurt? I'm like, no, it always hurts.
Always hurts.
But are you injured?
Right.
That if you're not injured, that's good.
Putting any part of your body from any distance to the ground, to the concrete, is going to hurt. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to scrape. It's going to rub. And that's what our pads are for. But sometimes you can't wear them. So sometimes, not only do you have to roll and fall right, you have to know how to adjust yourself so you're not hitting what we call your point all the time.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden you end up not being able to adjust your fall and you break your shoulder because you've fallen on the same spot 15 times. Move it around a little bit.
Yeah. That kind of leads us to the last bit. Practice. How to practice.
Oh, man.
So Calvin said at the end of one of Calvin On's comment was, luckily I had people to practice film fighting with for a few years before I ever stepped on a professional set. Which is what we're talking about. It's going to be years and years of work to unlearn or modify this.
And we did so much training. We trained with Calvin. We trained with a lot of guys. And, in the beginning of your career, you're going to find yourself training things that now you're like, I'm never going to fucking train that.
Dude.
Like, we don't do, I'm never going to train stair falls again.
I was going to say, I'm not going to Astoria Park and throwing myself downstairs anymore.
But it was like, I'm glad I know how.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
But you need to, to his point, and I would say for us, like even here with Breakfall Studios.
Don't practice car hits, guys.
When we first started Breakfall, right? No. I mean, not like you would on camera.
No, not like you would on camera.
Of course. I mean, definitely practice. You should practice.
For sure. Or you could practice figuring out how to shoot it with the roll off the hood, with the car not moving, and all those things. Like, you can... No,
like everything, whether it's a car hit or a stair fall or whatever, you inch your way forward. You know what I mean? But regarding fighting, which is what we're talking about, you should have a group of people, and hopefully over time you will meet people that will become your crew, that you will do this over and over, and you make the time to practice. If you don't know what you're doing, I always go back to that first interview I had with Chad Stahelski to work on Wick 2, where he said, you want to be in this business, you have to learn how to shoot and edit. You don't have to be the best, camera op. You don't have to be the best editor, but start practicing it. It's going to help you understand what people are looking for on the other side of the lens and what you need to do or what may not be necessary to do because it's going to be cut or it's out of frame or whatever. Start learning how to shoot and edit. Get your crew together and just start shooting fights. I mean, how many fights?
Especially with action, because how many times do you see people cut a fight based on what their eye is actually seeing, not adjusted to the brain and
what they think the eye is
they think the eye is seeing, and the time that it takes for the brain to process what the eye is looking at in the camera and what you see in the strikes, and in that, you really have to understand where to start and cut a punch for it to sell.
Yeah. And we have here, we have easily 50 to 100 fights that we shot that nobody has ever seen, ever. Some of them are pretty decent, but they just go in the file and it's just there for practice. Something that annoys me is when rookies put up stuff on Instagram.
That's the ego. That's the ego, right?
The ego part they're talking about. Like, dude, you may not. I understand.
And some of it's fucking shit.
Well, and here's the thing, though, is they may not understand that it looks like shit, and they're proud that they're putting in the work and trying to get better, and that's awesome. You should be proud of putting in the work and trying to get better, but you don't have to tell us about it, and don't show stuff that you just shot that might look like shit. Just don't. You're not going to be, it's going to be really hard to undo the first impression that somebody gets of that video looking bad. And it's really unfortunate because you may not know it looks bad. You might think it looks bad. I mean, you might think it looks great from a place of non-experience. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
But people are going to remember the people that will hire you or work with you or not even recommend you. Honestly, a lot of the people that hire you are not looking at Instagram, but the people that might recommend you for a job are, for sure.
And also, when you practice, guys, practice safe.
Yes.
That's where it all starts. If you do dumb shit when you practice with ill regard to those around you and yourself, then you're most likely going to make those stupid decisions when you're on set, and you're going to end up working for people who are going to get you hurt.
Run the training room like it is a set. Follow the protocols. That's part of the training. You know what I mean? Making sure people are ready before you start doing stuff. Like just basic communication skills. How to handle a weapon if you're doing weapon stuff. Treat it like it's real. Treat it like you're on set. Do everything the way that you would. And if you don't know, get notes from people.
Well, it was funny. I had a workshop at Jared's the other day, at a Krav Maga workshop, and this wasn't a film one. I was showing them stuff, but I was like, the first thing I want you guys to know is like, we're pointing these at each other. I'm like, we're not doing, this isn't film. This is Krav Maga disarms. I was like, we're
not doing this for camera.
We're not doing this for camera today. I was like, I'm just showing you guys
stuff.
Bunch of Krav Maga stuff. And I was like, so I'm not going into those details of don't point it here, don't point there. I was like, we're pointing a gun at each other's heads. I was like, we're doing Krav Maga. I was like, so know that. I was like, you guys can ask me questions about film and whatever. I was like, but most likely I'm just going to say today we're doing Krav Maga, point the gun at his fucking head.
Listen, the bottom line is repetition, right?
And also, again, by the way, rubber trainers, guys, rubber blue trainers.
If you walk onto if you're doing some non-union indie fucking passion project bullshit and you walk on set, I know somebody who they did this. They were going to help a friend out with the thing. They walk on set and it's a real fucking gun.
What?
Yes.
Did you tell me this?
I'll tell you more details when we're not on air, but I think I told you this.
Oh shit.
And this person was going to help by coordinating a friend's thing.
Bye-bye.
They just turned around and was like, I'm out. Later.
Yep.
Don't fucking play. But to the more serious thing about fighting, you need to build that muscle memory. Keep training, keep shooting, keep practicing. Shoot as many fights as you fucking can. Just keep doing it. And give it to someone who knows, who has an eye, somebody with more experience. And not everybody, not on Instagram, a few trusted people. And get notes and listen to the fucking notes. Listen to the fucking notes.
Yep. Make your adjustments and just listen.
Again, that's the ego.
Just listen. You can make your adjustments just by listening, and no one will ever have to fucking speak to you. Like, again, majority of the times you're going to do a great job on set and you're going to impress that coordinator is the day he doesn't have to say a fucking word to you. Except for great job. Way to go. Good job. You okay? Yep, I'm good. When he doesn't need to tell you where to be, when he just asks if you're okay, that's your day. That's a great fucking day. Everybody gets adjustments, but you should only get it once.
Listen, it's the ego. Back to the ego. Get the notes. Even one of the notes could be, is this postable? I have some of the people that have trained with us will send me stuff. Is this good enough to post? I'm like, maybe not. Do it again. Do the whole thing again. And if it's still not good, do the whole thing again. You don't have to do a new fight every time you get together. Spend 6 months dialing in the one fight and make it fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had so much fun doing it with the dry fight.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to like fucking, let's say you guys get together to train
break down 300 and something beats of fucking choreo.
Yeah.
With 8 and bazillion edits.
But I'm talking about like even the 5 beat Fridays, like there's the 5 beat Friday TikTok.
3 hour challenge was great.
Yeah, but my point is like, don't do a new fight every week. Chances are the fight you did last week is not perfect. Or not even close to perfect. You'll never be perfect. So next week, we're going to do it again. And next week, we're going to do it again. Maybe do it again with different people in different roles. And then next week, we're going to do it again with different people in different roles. And maybe the next week we'll do it again. Okay, this time you're going to shoot it. I'm going to edit it.
And see how good your fight comes out when you have 5 people in it and all those 5 people know everyone's parts.
Exactly.
That is going to be a great fight.
Yep. This is where you, this
and
is,
that's how you know where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
And then when not only, let's also get into that. What if you have a fight with 10 people? Like the bar fight you had, there was 7?
4 versus 3.
Yeah. Yeah, there were 7 people involved in that fight. You need to know where other people are, not only where they're gonna be, because you may have to be there, or where they were, because you got to make sure that they weren't there.
Or you're gonna have to avoid them. I've been in scenes where I have to jump over somebody that fell in a place where they.
And guess what? You have to do all of this without looking like you're looking for any of it.
Of course. But the only way you get good at it is by repetition. Like anything. Repetition, man. So, and then the other thing, of course, is like you mentioned, Troy, the shot-for-shot remakes. There's creating your own stuff and doing it over and over and over and over until you get it right. Or try to recreate somebody else's stuff and reverse engineer it and see if you can get as close to the original as possible.
And when we do it, we actually try and when we act the scene, we do the voices, like we say the words.
Oh yeah.
But we try and do the voice, like we try and ad lib it.
We lip sync.
So we literally try and do even the dialogue the exact same way and deliver it the same way, so that we can put the actual sound from the fight on top of ours.
Of course, that should be your goal. If you're going to do a shot-for-shot remake, try to do it so you can sync it with the original audio, 100%. And so I would say, let's say, and don't start with like Troy, like what we did.
That was a big fucking mistake.
We did a whole bunch. Yeah, but we did a whole bunch of shot-for-shots before that.
No, but that was still a big fucking mistake.
No, it wasn't. What are you fucking
No,
talking
it was
about?
fun, but that was a lot. We put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, it was not a mistake.
You know what I mean.
Fuck that bullshit. That was not a mistake. That was
fucking tough.
Do you think
I'll put it this way. I wouldn't do it again. I guess that's what I mean. I don't know if I would put that much time into like.
Come on. Every time you watch the result, you're glad you did it.
No, absolutely. But I'm saying, I guess maybe big mistake wasn't it, but I wouldn't do it again. Not something that epic. Yeah. That's a fucking epically huge, long fight that took them 6 days to shoot.
Yeah. I know.
That was just a crazy.
But we have to cheat. We already have the answers to the exam.
True.
So we did it in a day.
And also we learned so much.
Yes.
So much about it. And that's where I learned about all the stuff about the, there were times when we were editing that and Jared and I thought that we're like, is that 2 hits?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is it 2 hits? And then it wasn't. It was just the begin or the end, the ending of one frame showing the hit, the beginning of the other frame showing the hit, but the eye only sees one hit.
Yeah.
But you have to slow it down frame by frame by frame to see 2 hits. And there were so many times on the first day when Jared and I were adding in extra hits.
I remember telling you guys, just do, this is why I was a director, just do what I'm fucking telling you.
Right.
This is again, back to the ego thing. Like, it's just like, so for those listening, what you do, take a scene. And if you don't have editing software, there's tons of stuff out there. You can get DaVinci Resolve for free. The free version is everything you will need to do this kind of basic stuff. So drop the scene in the editor. Every time they cut, you splice. You're in the timeline, you splice. Every time they cut, you splice. Then you're going to have all these sections of film, right? Of your digital film. And then you're going to see like, oh, this A, C, D, and G look like it's from the same take, same camera. This section was probably one take, and they took those sections. Then you'll see section B, F, J, whatever. Oh, these from a... Then you'll start to see like, okay, so they did a bunch of takes from camera over here.
Right.
And they did a bunch of takes from camera over here. Then they did some over here. Then here's the wides. How many of the masters did they use? Not too many.
Nope.
But they used a few, and so, and you start to see where they had the camera to shoot this fight, and you do the same thing. Okay, we're going to do a take from over here. We're going to do a take from over here. Oh, well, this is obviously a special insert little piece. This is a special. We can do that special. Blah, blah, blah. So you start to reverse engineer it, and then if you see something that doesn't work in their version, do it anyway. Do it the way they did it. Even if it doesn't work, you're going to learn about what doesn't work. Maybe your future exercise would be to do a version like your own version.
I tell you, everything in that fight worked.
For the most part, yeah.
Like that. Like I will say, I was like that doing that fight, all the moves, everything they did. I mean, we even sent it to the Jared knows all those guys.
Yeah.
Who coordinated and designed all that fight, and they all loved it and thought it was awesome.
But to the point, that was after that was like literally 10 years after we started doing this stuff.
And the whole time we're just like, no, we're taking our time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to rush it. We're going to learn the choreo.
Mm-hmm.
We're not rushing this. We're not going to rush into shooting it. We're going to shoot it when we're ready.
I mean, you and Jared were able to do it as a oneer if you wanted to. That's how insane that shit was.
But we had it down. We basically had that when we first learned it, we broke it down into 8 parts.
Yep.
And we learned 8 parts piece by piece. And then we took that to 6 parts to 4 parts. And then we were able to do the whole fight in one shot.
Totally.
It was awesome.
But your first one should be shorter, like the one we did with Jabari, the Jack Reacher movie fight.
Oh yeah, and then also the Leftovers was really fun.
Yeah,
the Leftovers was a good one with. But
that was challenging. That was a challenging one. But I'm literally like, it's like when I was in art school, we used to have to go to the Met and try to replicate the old masters' drawings and stuff. This is exactly like what you're doing. Find a fight that you think is awesome, and start with like a 10-beat fight. That's it, something small.
Yeah, don't start from like the final fight of the raid.
Yeah, exactly. And just try and replicate it. And just do this. And then 10 years later, you might be good at it.
But again, don't do it in a day. Take your time, treat it like a production.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really break it down. Pull out the editing software. Break the scene apart. Find every single, do it exactly like they do it.
You don't need fucking fancy equipment to do the shit. You can get DaVinci Resolve for free and use your cell phone. Like most cell phones have like at least 3 different lenses right now. You've got enough to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Enough to play with. And like even on mine, you can go into pro mode. You can start messing with color correction and all this other stuff. So you don't need.
And I would recommend that put it this way, if we were going to do the Troy fight and didn't have you, it would have never worked. You need a camera guy. The 2 guys fighting can't do this on their own. They can't do this without a specific designated person to be your camera guy and your editor to kind of already start working on this before you're there. He needs
somebody else. We had Francesco as our AD.
Yeah.
You need somebody else there to keep track of everything with you. Somebody on the outside. Build your team. Build your crew.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes time to build your crew, but that's what you want. Build your crew. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, that was
the whole list. The whole list. Dude, thank you to everybody who commented on the threads.
Yeah, this was great.
It was really, really awesome.
Keep us chatting for this long.
Yeah, man. Keep us talking. Everybody have a great 4th of July weekend.
Enjoy. Hope you see some good fireworks. No one blowing their fucking hands off. Be safe.
Totally. And everybody have a good one. Later. Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Koepfer, Paul Varacchi, Press Record Studios, and Breakfall Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Ahrue Luster.